Guarida is visiting Seville. We are here with Mr. Lee Rous, a member of the famous international group, Plump Djs.
Hola.
Hello. It's an honor to interview you. Good night and welcome, Mr. Lee.
Thank you very much.
What do you feel about visiting Spain again?
Yeah, it's always great for me to come to Spain. When I was a small boy, my family used to take me to Spain on holiday every year from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. And then since then, Andy, my musical partner, and I have been to Spain many times to DJ. So we have lots of fond memories and we were always filled with joy every time we come, so it's great.
What can you tell me about tonight's session?
Tonight's session is a special session. We're playing classic Plump Djs records, old school Plump Djs records, remastered from vinyl, especially for the evening, spanning right back through our career to 2000 really. Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be a really good night.
Speaking of your musical career, how did Plump Djs born?
It was born in 1998, really, when Andy and I decided to start working together. Andy was producing under the name of Cut and Paste, and I was producing nothing at all, and I was DJing around England and around Europe actually. And Andy wanted to DJ more and I wanted to get in the studio more, and we both knew that we were onto something, so yeah, we started Plump Djs.
What did you before devote your life to music?
I didn't study, well, I actually studied the Spanish classical guitar at school when I was very small, but then I ended up trying to become an architect in England, and I studied to become an architect, but unfortunately I didn't make the grade, so I started putting on shows in London as a promoter, promoting breakbeat events, and that's what sort of springboarded me into breakbeat and DJing and production.
Did you do a lot of research before finding breakbeats?
Not research, but we grew up with breakbeats through the hip-hop of the late 80s at school, and you know, a love of those raw beats from the rock and Motown that we'd grown up with, and soul music that we'd grown up with as kids, so through our parents. So yeah, the breakbeats really found us really in sort of 1998 when we started making breakbeat.
Which was for you, the inflection point of Plump Djs?
Probably, yeah, it was probably like when we got signed to Fingerlicking really. That really set us on a path. We had already made a couple of singles and done a couple of remixes, but we had nobody really pushing us, and that being part of a big group of people really sort of set us on our journey. So yeah, I think that would be one sort of key point, I suppose.
Which is the most unforgettable moment for you?
Most unforgettable moment for me was probably playing Scram for the first time in Australia at Field Day. We just literally made the record and we played it on acetate, and I think there was about 15, there might have even been more than 15,000 people, which is a lot of people. Or maybe my memory's exaggerating it, but it was pretty special. But I mean, to be honest, that's the one I'm thinking about now. There's been loads of great moments, so yeah.
Do you have any anecdotal time when you are in your DJ set? For example,
yeah, like crazy, yeah. Yeah, we do, but what they say is what stays on tour, so I can't really talk about those things on camera.
How many awards do Plump Djs own nowadays?
We've been lucky enough to get quite a few awards from the Breakz organisation over the years, but we're not counting them, you know, like they're all cherished. But yeah, we don't know how many we've got. Somewhere in one of my sort of recesses of my house, they're under sort of safeguard for when I'm older. I can look back.
Did Plump Djs know that the group was going to have the international recognition?
No, we didn't really ever think we were going to sort of come to anything really. We were just having a great time making breakbeat and DJing and putting on parties. And we were just a bunch of friends having a party really, and Andy and I just seemed to strike a chord with each other musically, and we were getting good results. So it was all born out of fun really, and partying and the love of music. So.
Is there any future project that you can reveal?
Yeah, this year we are going to do a mix album at the end of the year, which is going to comprise of a lot of records we've made over the last 15 years, because we've been making records for 15 years now. So it's a sort of celebration of that. We're remastering those records, and we're going to re-promote them as well, so that they're available for people to play, because they're from the vinyl era for most of them, so people can't actually play them in clubs. So we've remastered them for the digital era really. And we're releasing singles throughout the year, inventive sort of left field music. So yeah, we're continuing with that.
Do you have any concentration ritual before working?
Yeah, coffee. We love fresh ground coffee before we start in the studio, and yeah, beer when we're DJing. So.
Any advice for beginners?
Yeah, loads of advice for beginners. Get some feedback from people. If you're getting into music, everyone's going to want to have their opinion, and I think it's really important early on to get some feedback from people that are not just going to tell you that you're good. I think we've all seen X Factor. Do you have X Factor out here on TV? These TV programs where people sing and they have a terrible voice, and they've just not had good feedback, you know. So I think feedback's very important when you're just starting out, from respected people in the industry you're trying to move into. And also it's important that you find something that's specific to you, something that's unique to you, a sound that's specific to you, or a style that only you have. Work out what that style is, and own it, and make it yours.
I'm very thankful for your time, Lee, and it was a pleasure to meet us. And enjoy the stay, Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
And have a good
great
night.
Time. Thanks for the interview. Yeah, good luck everyone out there.
Thanks for the interview. Bueno, la Guarida, Plump Djs, uno de sus componentes. Y nada, esta noche a romper la sala Fanati, y esperemos que os haya gustado esta entrevistita. Muchas gracias por vuestra atención y nos vemos por YouTube.
Chao.